Next, a discussion on the state of the nation's environment.
In the last 16 months, this administration has brought about a sea change in environmental policy. First, the President has established clearly that environmental policy is a top priority for us. We've set tough goals for ourselves, and we're moving forward aggressively to achieve them. We've taken on a broad spectrum of initiatives, from recycling and things like energy efficiency and pollution prevention, things that are about getting our own house in order, to the broader end of the spectrum where we're helping to define a new role for the United States in the post-Cold War world. We're reaching out to communities around the country. We're working in partnership with the states, with communities, with industry, with the environmental community. We're trying to develop better, more common sense approaches to achieving the environmental goals we all share. That's what our climate challenge is all about. That's what Secretary O'Leary's efforts are all about today here in Washington, together with Carol Browner, bringing together thousands of businesses from around this country to sign up to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and improve their bottom lines. That's what this effort's all about. And that's also what Carol Browner's initiatives on looking at whole industry sectors and her common sense approach. That's what it's about, bringing people together and finding a better way of moving forward.
Well, it's really my pleasure today to be able to introduce my boss, Carol Browner, who will be giving the welcoming remarks for this conference. Carol was sworn in January of this year as the administrator for the Environmental Protection Agency, and brings to the agency really a career of experience in the environmental protection arena, including a really important blend of experience in the state and federal arenas that gives her some important perspectives on the implementation of environmental programs and in particular on implementation of the Clean Air Act. Prior to coming to EPA, Carol served as Secretary of the Department of Environmental Regulation for the state of Florida from 1991 to 1993, where among her many accomplishments was the implementation early of a permit fee program in order to fund programs within the state of Florida to anticipate the needs of the Clean Air Act. That's something that many states have still not yet completed, but for which we're trying very hard to get underway. Before that position, Carol served as the legislative director for then Senator Al Gore, where among her other responsibilities, she assisted in drafting provisions of the Clean Air Act amendments of 1990. In introducing Carol Browner, President Clinton cited her record in building innovative partnerships to protect the environment while promoting economic growth. And I think the often cited example of the exchange with Walt Disney World, allowing them to develop in exchange for setting aside a significant amount of wetlands. For wildlife protection was just one example of the way in which Carol brings to the environmental arena a new perspective on how we can build partnerships among the regulated community, the environmental community, and state, local, and federal governments to productively work towards important, aggressive environmental goals, while at the same time being cognizant of the importance of economic development and prosperity. Since coming to EPA, Carol has initiated numerous activities, including a policy to protect children from harmful pesticide residues on food, tightened controls over hazardous waste incinerators, a major expansion of the important toxics release inventory, and she's played a leading role within the federal government as an advocate for pollution prevention programs within the federal community. She's also initiated a major reorganization of our Office of Enforcement, which is among the recommendations of the National Performance Review. We're therefore delighted that Carol has been willing to take time from her very demanding schedule to introduce this conference.
Well, good morning, and thank you, Mike. That was a very nice introduction. I also want to begin by thanking all of you here today who have joined with the Environmental Protection Agency to co-sponsor these 2 days. I think it's going to be a very productive use of your time, and we really appreciate the co-sponsorship. I think that, in part, makes all of this possible. I was interested, as Steve was talking about, and I looked at the list of speakers, how impressive a list it is, and I would really encourage you to take advantage of that list and hear what those people have to say. Max Baucus is chairman of the Environment and Public Works Committee and was one of the leading floor managers of the Clean Air Act when it was considered in 1990 by the United States Senate. Michael Porter is someone I've known for years who is really quite well known now outside of the world of economics, but originally in that world, as someone who's really thinking about how environmental rules, environmental regulations affect our economy. And I think you'll find his talk very interesting. And